Which white running back is Cam Skattebo the most like?
None of them.
Oh, yeah.
Happy Draft Day!
Heyo.
And welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show. Of course, coming to you live from Studio K, presented by Circle K. Make sure you join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. I'm Anthony Totri, joined, as always, by the one, the only Professor Oates. And for the first time in a long time, we have the one, the only mother of PHNX, Leah Merrall, behind the Mac.
It feels good to be back. I do feel like I was the original producer on this show, so it's kind of full circle moment
It's good
for
vibes.
Me. Yeah.
It's good vibes.
Good vibes
I
today.
didn't get a lot of Leah produced shows. I think I might have gotten one fill-in, and so now I feel like this is truly like I'm a part of this show.
Yeah,
now.
a part of
now
its
that
history.
now that Leah is producing, I feel like I'm really a part of this.
Apologies for any mistakes that happen on this stream today. I take full responsibility in advance. It's been probably about a year and a half.
It's been a minute.
So,
It's been a minute.
So far, so good.
It's a bullpen game today.
Did you get the 15 graphics ready, or?
Oh, I must have missed your slack.
Hey, we're up and we're live. That's the only
That's
thing
all
that
that
matters
matters.
right
We are
now.
here.
We are. Steven in the chat, Sharon in the chat as well. Say what's up if you're a Sun Devil fan here. Ready for Cam Skattebo to get drafted. Make sure you hit that like button, you hit the subscribe button, and you drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Erik, I don't know about you, but draft day, at least in terms of the NFL, is maybe my favorite time of the year, just because we spend so much time talking, watching college football to see where these guys are going to, continue their careers, realistically start their next journey. It is a lot of fun for me. And, I think more so this year because we have a guy in Cam Skattebo that, it's been fun trying to figure out where he's going to end up, which of the 32 teams is going to, turn in that card. But also because you got guys like a Shamari Simmons and a Leif Fautanu who we feel have been maybe a little bit disrespected throughout the draft process.
Yeah.
So seeing where they end up, whether that be in the later rounds or as undrafted free agents, I tweeted out earlier today, right? Like Shamari and Skatt and, of course, Leif are the guys that you're expected to hear, at least Skatt, but there are so many other Sun Devils that can either get drafted or end up on undrafted, or end up on rosters as undrafted free agents. Emmett Boley, Jeff Clark, Caleb Cullen, DeCarlos Brooks, Xavier Guillory, Melquan Stovall. Like,
who would you say out of those is the most likely to get drafted?
Ooh, out of the ones that I just said?
Besides the three that we've already talked about.
Guillory.
I think Guillory, too.
Probably Guillory, yeah, just because he came on late,
Yeah.
right, in the season, made some big plays. But ultimately, I feel pretty confident that those three that we mentioned off the top are going to be the more likely than not the ones that have a chance to get drafted.
All first rounds.
Skatt, 100%. I will go to Wisconsin myself and have some discussions with individuals if Cam Skattebo is not drafted.
If he's not drafted, greatest undrafted free agent of all time.
I mean, just don't give us that opportunity to cook with content, because the shorts are going to be unbearable. The TikToks are going to be unbearable. The YouTube clips.
I mean, we're going to do that whether he gets drafted or not.
I guess that's fair. That is fair. Well, look, before these guys get drafted, there are a lot of individuals throughout the draft process that say, oh, Cam Skattebo's Peyton Hillis, or he's Mike Allstott,
yeah.
or Shamari is this, Leif is this. And people love doing player comps, and we haven't done player comps. So what better day to do it for Cam Skattebo, for Shamari Simmons, and Leif Fautanu than on the first day of the 2025 NFL Draft. So, are you ready?
Yeah, so it's clearly Peyton Hillis.
Can we, before we actually...
No, sorry, I'm just really quick Googling best white running backs of all time.
Does Cam Skattebo just come up immediately? Because I feel like
Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, yeah, I guess
Don't sleep on John Riggins. affectionately known as the Diesel. Yeah.
You said John Riggins, and I thought of Tim Riggins from Friday Night Lights. So that's about where I am on
There we
this.
go.
I mean, Kyle Juszczyk is 8.
I mean, he's a fullback
on this list. He's not even a running back. Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
come on now.
Come on.
It's a lazy
above
comp.
Danny Woodhead and Peyton Hillis. And don't even get me started on Doak Walker. You know
Right.
what I mean? The Walker
Great
Award.
running back. But the comp for Skatt being another white running back is just, it's ridiculous. I'm pretty sure our PHNX Cardinal guys have talked about it before. Like Johnny and Bo agree that you can't just say Peyton Hillis. It's a lazy
Right.
comp.
So Christian McCaffrey.
And the one that I will listen to on that list is Mike Allstott.
Yeah.
Just simply because when we first talked to Skatt and we had asked him, hey, who do you model your game after? Right. And he was naming a bunch of players. That name came up just because of the force that he used to run with. But realistically, I don't see any of those guys being fits.
Is that Allstott's the closest in your mind? What are like the similarities? I mean, come on, you got to start talking about the white running backs. What are the similarities for you there? Why is that the closest?
I think just the aggression that he runs with.
Do you feel like sorry, but like last year, not this past season, but the year before that is a little more Allstott than this season where he slimmed down a bit, a little quicker?
I think a lot was made of him slimming down and, him changing the way he ran. But there were a number of times that you can go back and look at the stuff that he did this season, and he was leveling people. I think specifically at that Cincinnati game where it was
some dude in the hospital.
On purpose. He ran into the guy. He didn't need to do that, but he loves contact, right? It's those types of runs. But for me, a more realistic comp is a guy like Josh Jacobs, right? A guy that has very, very similar contact balance. I feel like is able to stay on his feet really well. It's not often that the first defender is able to bring down a guy like Josh Jacobs. I mean, you look at what Josh Jacobs did in Green Bay just this past season, having pretty much a career year, I believe. Also, shout out Josh Jacobs. He helped my fantasy team a number.
That's the big
this past season. But I think in terms of that, in terms of contact balance, and it really is tough to select one individual running back and try and comp him to Skatt because there aren't a lot of backs that have that level of contact balance, that run with that level of aggression, but also don't necessarily lose the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, or not even just out of the backfield. Hey, we're going to line you up on the outside, go run and go and go catch a pass, right? There's just not a lot of guys that can do that. So this one's going to sound crazy. I promise it's going to sound crazy.
I'm ready.
I don't mean that Cam Skattebo is going to be this guy.
I'm ready.
Okay? Can we all listen to me for once?
Everybody clip it after this.
In terms of the ability to do everything, throw the ball, catch the ball, run the ball, I haven't seen a player other than Christian McCaffrey and LaDainian Tomlinson that are able to run, throw, catch in that fashion. Now, Cam Skattebo is not LaDainian Tomlinson. LaDainian Tomlinson is one of the greatest running backs in the history of the NFL. But in terms of being able to do all of these different types of things, I feel like it is reminiscent of a guy like that.
I mean, not to just keep the crazy comps
train going.
But William in the chat says Skatt is a slower version of Saquon. If Saquon ran a 4.6 instead of a 4.4, he'd be the exact same.
I love it. I love crazy comps. Again, I'm not saying he's LT.
I'm here.
Who's your crazy comp? We got Derrick Henry mixed with Emmitt Smith.
Yeah, I think like a sprinkle of Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson combined.
Oh yeah.
Peyton Hillis in there for sure.
Yeah. What about so we combine? What does he get from Derrick Henry? What does he get from Lamar? What does he get from Peyton Hillis?
He gets the arm of Lamar. He gets the mentality of Derrick Henry, and he gets the Madden cover.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Guys, drop your NFL comps for Cam Skattebo.
Sharon saying Skatt is the Scat of the NFL.
I mean, that's fair. Do you think he has an opportunity to carve out a name for himself and again,
yes.
There are so many people that do these comps and it's like, oh, he's Josh Jacobs or oh, he is Peyton Hillis. And they don't just do it for Skatt. They do it for all the running backs coming out, right? But do you think there is a way for Skatt in year 1, 2, 3, whatever, for us to have a conversation 4 years from now and say, well, this guy's NFL comp is Cam Skattebo?
Absolutely.
What about his game makes you feel like that?
I think there's a diversity there, right? He's like the in baseball, you hear a 5-tool player. can hit, can field, can throw, can run. I don't know what the fifth one is. But, they can do everything, right? Can catch. That's a big part of baseball. Yeah. Cam Skattebo a 5-tool running back. Danny says better version of Taysom Hill.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that comp.
How do you feel about Jaylen Warren? Steelers running back.
Jaylen Warren.
Can do a little in the pass game, a little in the run game.
Steelers fans love Jaylen Warren.
He's had some good seasons.
He's had some all right seasons. He hasn't had anything that's going to knock your socks off.
But I also think with Skatt, as much as I would like to say Skatt goes into the NFL and does what he did on an ASU level,
it would be crazy.
Realistically speaking, that's not going to, at least not early. That's not going to happen. If it is, I would love to be wrong. Please clip this when he is an MVP in his first year. But
do we make a bet? If Cam Skattebo wins the MVP
in his first year, then what?
Then what?
Then he flies us out.
Another 24-hour stream.
I don't know.
If he wins Rookie of the Year.
That's way easier.
It is way easier. But, we're here, aren't we?
I'd much rather do a 24-hour stream for Cam Skattebo winning the league MVP in year one.
Okay, we'll do it. If Cam Skattebo wins the MVP.
Dude, here's the thing. Whatever we say on air, it happens.
If he wins the MVP.
24-hour stream.
As a rookie. We will do a 24-hour stream.
William says,
and that will be the last time you see me on PHNX Sun Devils.
We will be hitting Skatt up and being like, he's about to break the rushing record and the touchdown record. We got to call him and be like, don't.
Listen, man, for our own sanity.
Did you see? There's this clip of Jeremy Lamb. This is so random, saying that Kevin Martin, an older NBA player from 10-something years ago, would have a bunch of points in a game, and then he would go to the bench and be like, "Damn, I got to stop scoring, or they're gonna make me an all-star." And he's like, "And I want my time off."
That's
what we're going to need Skatt to do if he's about to win the MVP. Call and be like, "Hey, big dog, I think your shoulder's sore."
Yeah, that's crazy, honestly.
William follows up with his Saquon comparison, which I'm not hating on, man. I'm not hating on it. I'm here for it. Says contact balance plus power plus jump cut ability plus first step burst plus catching ability. Saquon, Skatt, and LT are the best fits that have all of those. That's the thing is he does have a little bit of everything.
He does. So why it sounds crazy is because those guys did what they did at such a high level, right? And if Cam Skattebo does what he did in college at that level in the league, then we're going to be talking about him the way that we talk about Saquon Barkley and those guys, right? Because NFL running backs just don't do these types of things at this level anymore.
Right.
So it sounds crazy because we're comparing him. And realistically, we're not saying that he's that guy. We're saying that he has the capability of doing these types of different things.
He has the traits.
He does. He can throw the ball. We saw him do it in the Peach Bowl. He can catch the ball. We saw him do it all year. We know he can run the ball. Heck, he plays special teams, does it all, right? So
he can punt.
Right. He was ASU's best punter the first year that he was here. So he could certainly do a ton of things. I do really like Danny's comp of Taysom Hill, just because again he does all those same types of things.
He does a little bit of everything,
but not at an LT or Saquon Barkley level.
Yeah, but he's been a good player in the NFL for a long time.
He absolutely has, and I think if Cam Skattebo has a rookie year that is Taysom Hill-esque, then I think it would certainly be a solid year. Now, of course, Taysom Hill plays tight end, so it's a little bit of a different conversation.
But does he really play tight end?
He plays all sorts of things.
Exactly. I'm sorry, but I googled best white running backs of all time. And there's some interesting Google results. Is Christian McCaffrey the white Martin Luther King Jr. of running backs? Is a Reddit post. So
do you want to have that discussion and clip it on YouTube?
No.
What's all capitalized in that title?
Maybe in overtime.
Martin Luther.
Sure. Why not? Will in the chat saying 1,000 total yards rookie season. I could definitely see it happening.
Well, we'll have to do predictions for his.
I will definitely do predictions. I think a lot of it really depends on where he ends up, the situation, right? I've been very biased in saying that I want him to be a Los Angeles Charger. Yes. But there are a number of different teams that I think he could fit in terms of their backfields and have really productive years.
What do you think is the best place for him to go to see instant impact as far as production?
The San Francisco 49ers.
You think so?
I think so. Being the second fiddle to Christian McCaffrey, he could learn under McCaffrey. He's got the same skill set, right? Again, in being able to throw, catch, run, whatever. And you're in a backfield that loves the ground game. They got rid of a number of their running backs in the offseason. You're telling me you bring in Skatt behind you don't wish for injuries, but Christian McCaffrey is a very injury-prone running back.
Yeah.
Right? So you throw Skatt in there behind that offensive line in that system. I think he does really well. I think in terms of production, that is a solid system. I don't see Skatt going into a system year one and being a lead workhorse just because third round, second round running backs aren't usually put in those positions. But I think being second fiddle to Christian McCaffrey is a phenomenal option for him.
Yeah. B says David Montgomery / Frank Gore hybrid comp for Skatt.
David Gore
David
or Frank
Gore.
Montgomery.
Gore
sound like presidents.
Cam Gore Skattebo.
Cam Gore Skattebo.
Yeah, I don't know if that works.
I don't think it does.
On NFLDraftBuzz.com, can I run by a couple player comps
You
for
can.
you?
You can.
Kendre Miller. Saints running
Kendre
back?
Miller?
Yeah.
No, I don't like it.
Zach Charbonnet.
Ooh, I could listen to it. I think Scott's going to be better, but okay.
Isaiah Spiller.
Hate it. As somebody
Those
who's
are the
watched
three that are
Isaiah
there.
Spiller in the NFL,
Chargers, yeah.
he hasn't done anything. So
I'm just reading off what some people. The Tyler Warren thing was what NFL.com has his NFL comp as. I find it interesting that I don't see a consensus anywhere.
Will says if Minnesota doesn't snag him up and get him, I think KC snags him at 66. That scheme would fit him, but it would be so annoying.
I think he'd be really good.
What'd you have him? You had him at 95, right?
Yeah,
to the Chiefs.
I could see him going a lot higher. I originally, before we submitted that final graphic, had him going at 66 to the Chiefs, but then I felt like there's always, when you cover a guy and you're so high on him, but then you look at a bunch of other people's draft boards who are more removed from the situation and they have him in the hundreds, the 120s, and you just think to yourself, would I draft him at 66? Yes. Do other teams think they can get him later and so they're probably going to pass on him? Probably.
I just don't know how many people want to play with that fire. Because
I get
it is a fire.
That's why I don't think he can. Oh, that's fun. This website stole our thumbnail. Oh. Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
Sick, dude.
Yeah.
That's great.
Unbelievable.
Literally just the thumbnail and no link
And
or
then they
anything
just
to
have an
what we
article.
did. Yeah.
Wow.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Plagiarism at its finest,
Yeah, I guess
ladies and gentlemen.
that makes sense why you're on the third page of Google results. Yeah.
Look,
That's fun.
You had him at 95. I had him at 75 going to the Niners. I think that makes a lot of sense. I've heard within that organization that they do like him. We know he was on a visit there at one point, so we'll see what happens as the NFL draft kind of goes on. On top of your comps, feel free to throw in where you think he gets drafted, where you think the best situation for Cam Skattebo is. I know everybody's got an opinion, and in all honesty, nobody's wrong at this point in the conversation. Or you're all wrong and we're right.
No, I'm not right.
You're not right?
I'm never right.
I guess that's fair.
Peyton Hillis.
Guys, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review. We're going to get to Shamari Simmons and Leif Fautanu. Also, the tail end of today's show, Jake Plummer walks everybody through what his NFL draft experience was like. So definitely stick around for that on the other side of this quick break. Look, my boy right here, do the thing. You see that? You see that on the top of his head? That is a branded Bills cap, okay? And you, that's right, you at home, you could be just like the one, the only Senor Rubis over here. Make sure you elevate your brand with branded Bills, the perfect headwear and apparel. Look, they got something for everybody. Whether you need snapbacks, truckers, fitteds, beanies, or tees, branded Bills, they got you covered with performance, style, and one of my favorite things that isn't in the copy is affordability. Go on their website, check out all of the different hats they have, which there are a number of different options for Arizona State fans, for Arizona Wildcat fans, for just fans of the Valley in general. Again, they're comfortable, they're great for performance, and they are affordable, okay? Look, they've got partnerships with ASU. Of course, they do some charity work on the side with U of A. It is what it is. Make sure you head to brandedbills.com and use that code PHNX for 20% off your first order.
Spinning around to show off my Branded Bills hat, I can't lie, I got a little dizzy. I might need to lay down on the floor.
Yeah, a good floor lay.
And if I'm going to do a good floor lay, it's got to be quality flooring.
Facts.
Which is why I only lay on Empire Today flooring. I'll go out to Studio A and hit a good floor lay because Empire Today, of course, installed the flooring over there. But the best part is when you hit up Empire Today, they are the psychos, the sickos, the freaks of the flooring world, as in they are obsessed with it. It is all that they think about, all they just do on a daily basis.
Facts.
Nobody there is just like the big box stores where you go and you're kind of lost, you're left on your own. No. Empire Today is going to help you with clear, upfront, all-inclusive pricing. They're going to come to your house, tell you what types of flooring fit in, what type of color fits in with your furniture, with your walls, everything in your home. Empire Today is here for you. And right now you can get a free in-home estimate and receive a $350 off discount when you use promo code PHNX. That's right, promo code PHNX gets you a $350 discount. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/PHNX for full details.
Guys, head to gophnx.com, open another tab, go to that website right now, click the little Die Hard tab.
Do it.
And sign up to become a Die Hard because we have a crazy intro offer for everybody right now. It's limited time, $36 to sign up to become a PHNX Die Hard. That is pretty much the price of one of our shirts, which you're going to get a free t-shirt every single year or a free hat every single year. You're going to get the Die Hard draft guide, which of course there's no better time to have that than right now. Over 150 player profiles, combine notes, insider reporting ahead of the 2025 NFL draft. You're getting an ad-free experience on this site. You're getting 20% off all PHNX events and merch.
Might like our draft party tonight. And 20% off your ticket.
And
there's more?
There's always more. Access to the Die Hard Discord.
Which might be the best part.
Facts. Yeah. That is absolutely facts.
It definitely might be the best part. And for those basketball fans, even beyond the Suns, especially for just diehards today, Steven and I ripped for over an hour, commercial free, just breaking down every single playoff series for people that are interested in that and relating some of that stuff to the Suns. So there's more than just Sun Devils if you're an ASU fan. Of course, if you're a U of A fan, but we also have the U of A Discord.
Hey, I'm producing today.
I said nothing.
He's been playing U of A all day.
My whole life.
Well, you have a U of A grad producing your show today, so show some respect.
Nice.
No.
We used to have to be so nice.
No. No.
Mike's about to be muted real quick.
That's fine.
No, it's not. That's going to make my life harder.
You can mute my mic. They'll still hear me. You can mute both mics and they'll still hear me.
I guess that's fair. I guess that's fair. Taz in the chat with a fun little comment. Who do we want? T-Mac. Where do we want him? In Dallas.
I don't blame you.
I think all 32 teams could benefit from a guy like Ted Earl McMillan.
Tet, as we all call him.
No, yeah. Like, where did that come from?
No, I'm leaning into it because I think it's funny.
No.
Tet McMillan?
No.
That's disgusting. It really is. Nobody has called him, like, I've never heard anyone call him Tet.
Tet.
Sometimes you really get under my skin.
I'm on one today.
You are.
Sure.
You're just
definitely
like,
on one.
Why'd you wake up and choose violence?
I think
on such a happy day.
I'm just like, I'm a little scatterbrained today, and I think I resort to
Was that a
being
scat
like,
joke?
Just no.
But
it could have been. See, that's how you know I'm off.
Scatterbrained?
No, but if I did that intentionally as a scat joke, you'd be like, dude, that sucked.
Oh, I thought you did that at first.
No,
I was like, dude, really? Like, I get Max is not here today, but you don't have to.
Yeah,
really.
no, I think just when I've had a busy day, my brain is just like, let's just fire. Let's just fire away.
Just fire away.
Yeah. I think it might have also been how we left last show.
Oh, arguing about cereal mascots? Yeah.
I had the sun.
He didn't really. Didn't really.
I mean, I did.
He had the sun on the Raisin Bran
sun.
box.
It was
okay. Look, you said you want to fire away. Let's fire away some Shamari Simmons NFL.
Okay.
Comps.
I'm interested to hear what your comp is because there's always a plethora of comps for guys like Cam Skattebo.
Yeah.
Even like the first 3-4 rounds, but Shamari, since he's kind of that borderline, he might be drafted, he might not be drafted. You don't see a lot of people going out and doing comps. He's a smart player. He's not the most athletic player, but he always seems to make big hits and play through physicality and play through pain. And so when there's not like those standout individual athletic abilities that a guy like a Cam Skattebo has, or some of the guys at the top of the draft, I think it always becomes harder to do pro comps. So I'm curious where you start.
I'm gonna go with another guy that I think, you know, you've watched him throughout his NFL career, has been able to play a number of different positions, right? You could put him at safety. You could put him at nickel. He's a guy that when he was coming out of college, hey, there were knocks on him. He was smaller. He's still smaller, right? He had some off-the-field stuff, I believe, I believe, at LSU. I could be wrong on the off the field stuff, but there were knocks on just his pure size. But the athleticism, the ability to, not be the biggest guy in the world, but still lay the wood, the ability to play in coverage reminds me a lot of a Tyrann Mathieu. A guy who obviously was in Arizona for a while, spent some time with the Saints, can play safety, can play nickel. Tyrann's 5'9", right? Now, Shamari's 6 foot. In terms of weight, they're about the same. I believe Shamari is about 5 pounds on him. So it reminds me a lot of him. Again, not the fastest dude in the world, not the biggest dude in the world, but man, he just plays ball. And he plays ball at a really high level, again, at a number of different positions. And he's gone on to have a really long, successful career in this league.
Yeah, I think Shamari is going to be one of those guys, if he doesn't get drafted, that whoever he signs with, there's going to be like a think piece article after like 1 week of rookie camp being like, is this guy actually making a case?
Is he the greatest player of all time?
William in the chat says Shamari's play style, says Cam Chancellor. But his ceiling says Adrian Wilson, and not the Adrian Wilson that committed here from Washington State.
Will
and
just
not the Adrian
to throw out the craziest
comps. That's usually B's
Arizona
job.
State from last year had Saquon Barkley and Cam Chancellor, and still lost to Texas, by the way.
Yeah, a little late, but Jeremy says I watched Skatt and think of Algier in Atlanta.
I don't hate that comp.
Yeah,
I don't hate it. I think Skatt is more athletic, but I like the Tyler Algier is a very contact-driven running back for sure.
Keep on feeding the crazy ones, William. I mean, ceiling Adrian Wilson. Listen, we've seen undrafted guys go to great.
He was more of a prototypical safety though than he was a nickel, right? I don't even remember Adrian Wilson playing nickel. He just played safety.
Do you feel like Shamari's long-term place in the league is nickel?
I think
because if you're going to carve out a long career, I think you want to find a way to be at least able to be used.
I think
as a safety.
In terms of usage, the way that the Chargers utilize Derwin James feels like a good way that a team could opt to use a Shamari, right? You can line him up all over. He can play in coverage. He can stop the run. He can rush the passer. Now, Shamari is not as athletic. He's not as big. He's not as fast. He's not as strong as Derwin James is, right? We're talking about an all-pro safety. Shamari, though, is a guy that I could see being a rotational piece for a system like that, where it's like, okay, this guy needs a breather, or it's second down. Let's get Shamari some reps in. I can 100% see a system where Shamari works out in that way. I don't see Shamari going and being an immediate day one starter. I think of all of these guys, I think Shamari is going to have probably the toughest uphill battle just because there are so many DBs in this league. And they're all getting bigger, right? Shamari's listed at what, 5'11"?
5'11", just under 200 pounds.
So, like, DBs are getting bigger, and he's not necessarily the biggest. Now, with that said, everything we saw from Shamari this past season, I mean, it screamed next level, right? The hits, the IQ, the ability to help lead this defense without having to be a vocal leader.
Yeah.
So I think Shamari is going to have a place in the NFL, but I think, again, his ceiling, his NFL comp. I think it's gonna
take a while for him to really carve out a role. Williams says that role will be at safety because not a lot of teams have a prototypical nickel. Jeremy says I like Shamari in cover 3 or a big nickel with 3 safeties. And then Bees says Shamari Simmons reminds me of DJ Swearinger.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that either. That's actually a fire comp. That's a fire comp. What do you have?
I've struggled.
I know you've been struggling all day for this
to get a direct comp to him or to Leif. Because like the NFL is not my specialty, and so like the end of roster guys, I don't see the heights of like Cam Chancellors, the Adrian Wilsons, right? I guess DJ Swearinger.
We're shooting for the moon.
That is definitely shooting.
Like
for
I said,
the
moon. I think his ceiling is a Tyrann.
Which is a high ceiling.
It's a very high ceiling.
Honey Badger is good, man. Like,
he was 100% good.
Like, he was
not
really
that
good
anymore.
Oh, okay. Do we need to address BK in the chat?
I mean, we don't need to address it. Some people just like to start their morning with a little crazy, and I guess they're midday.
At this point, it's like, why? Like, what are you bothered? Why would you bother doing that?
I would probably bet my entire life that this man is somehow associated with the University of Arizona.
Even they like Skatt.
Yeah, like Leah. What are your immediate thoughts on Cam Skattebo as somebody you've met and
I
interacted
love him.
with?
I think he's great.
Great guy.
Great guy, great football player, entertaining to watch.
And you went to what school?
I went to the University of Arizona.
Take that, BK. Burger King sucks.
No free ads.
No free ads. I guess that's not really.
No, but again, yeah.
Sorry, Max. You might not be able to.
I love how
to get that one.
Bees goes, Shamari Simmons reminds me of DJ Swearinger. And then Bees follows up and says, DJ Swearinger is a fair comp for sure. Oh,
I love it.
Dude, validating your own take is so fire.
I love it. Bees also a new PHNX diehard.
Yes, love it. But
Bees hasn't been a diehard?
No,
right?
he
That's
just
what
joined a couple weeks ago.
Bees has been a diehard.
Bees, that was overdue. Welcome to the family.
BK says, great guy does not equal good NFL running back. Bozo. All caps. Okay, Bozo. Here's the thing, buddy. I have a suggestion.
He buddied you, BK.
I have a suggestion for you, BK, since you clearly have a lot of free time on your hands. Go into your YouTube. I know you're on it right now, so it shouldn't be too difficult for you to find this search button. And then you're going to type in these letters since you might not know how to spell. CAM space SKATTEBO. Cam Skattebo. Okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to click on the highlight button. Right. And you're going to watch the 25-minute highlight video that the Big 12 posted of Cam Skattebo's season. Then what you're going to do is you're going to come back here because we'll still be live in 25 minutes and you're going to apologize. So
expect to see you at the 56-minute mark.
So we don't need you. We don't need you for the next 25 minutes. I don't want to see you in here. Go watch Cam Skattebo's 25-minute highlight reel. And then you can come back
dog.
And tell he says LMFAO at these Glazers. Just it's okay, man. It's okay. Go ahead and go look for yourself. That is if you have
it was
working
actually
eyes.
Galzers is what he said.
Yeah. Again, clearly, like I said, he doesn't know how to spell.
Hey, BK, we appreciate you being here, man. Hit that like button while you're here. Make sure you're subscribed.
Or hit the dislike button. I don't really care.
I don't encourage that. Okay? We don't encourage dislikes on this program. Just likes. Okay? So you have nothing else for Shamari?
Except for I do think he'll end up on an NFL roster.
We both had him at the Cardinals. We both had him same pick at the Cardinals.
Yeah. I'm done responding. I would love to see your highlight reel. I got Shamari hopefully ending up with the Cardinals. I think schematically he's not the best fit in Gannon's system, but personality-wise and player-wise, although I guess we don't talk about personalities on the show anymore since that doesn't matter. And then I think he fits in with Gannon and the Cardinals really well. Plus, that'd be a cool story. So
yeah, it would 100% be a cool story. I could definitely see him either getting drafted in the 7th round, like again we both had him 7th round pick, or as an undrafted free agent. I wouldn't be shocked if you saw a number of Arizona State Sun Devils that don't get drafted sign with the Arizona Cardinals. Again, just
I think Leif.
I think Leif's an option. Shamari's an option.
I think Leif is some center depth. For the Cardinals would be an understandable option. I think somebody said that earlier as a backup for Yelda Froholt.
Someone did say that. Let's see.
But, yeah.
Bees in the chat saying, I said it was long overdue and that I had already paid for a diehard membership with all my super chats.
Oh, 100%.
100%. We're glad to have you in the actual diehard Discord now. It feels like a member of the family has moved back home.
Yes.
It's good stuff. Look, we still have some comps for Leif Fautanu. And again, we're going to hear from Jake Plummer at the tail end of today's show.
Plus,
first,
we're going to talk a little BJ Freeman.
Oh, God. I forgot.
BJ Freeman.
I forgot you brought it up.
A little BJ
Got
Freeman.
some BJ Freeman
That's for
news.
JJ.
Oh, my goodness. Before all of that, though, we are going to take another break.
I had a great night last night.
Why?
Well, multiple reasons. I watched some NBA playoff basketball.
Okay.
I watched Survivor.
And you did this
Great
all
episode.
just chilling at home with a glass of
extra
water?
Chilling. No, well, yes, I did have water, but I also had some pure edibles. So good I had to tweet about it. I had the Bliss gummies. They were star fruit flavored. They tasted delicious, and I felt good all night.
Love that
afterwards. And it had been a while since I had dabbled in the pure gummies because I had taken a little break, and I was like, you know what, tonight is the night. But I knew to start small, and I knew that I could because pure gummies are designed to be ripped or bit in half, making them easily shareable or easy to dial in your exact dose. You don't want to go to Pluto. You don't want to go to La La Land unless you're on PHNX Sun Devils. And you can avoid that by making sure that you start small, but start good with pure edible CBN, CBG, CBD, and THC. Go find yourself some Pure Edibles products from one of the over 130 dispensaries in Arizona.
Look, I had to stop at Circle K this morning, just like I do every single day. I get myself a nice little sports drink, get myself an energy drink, get some snacks, and while I'm there, I'm filling up and saving money. And
You
today,
saved a lot of money today.
I save a lot of money today, and you guys can too if you are an Inner Circle member. I'll tell you how to sign up here in just a second, but today is an Inner Circle Fuel Day, which means from 6 a.m. to 11:59 p.m., 40 cents per gallon.
Oh, you know where I'm going afterward?
Circle K.
I got a Circle K right next to where I live.
Why didn't no one tell me that when I got gas yesterday at Circle K?
Ooh. You should have
But
been
I'm in the
PHNX
inner
Sun
circle, so I
Devils.
saved my 5 cents.
That's fair. That's fair. So look, you have to be an Inner Circle member to take advantage of this Inner Circle Fuel Day. Go to the App Store, download the Inner Circle app, enter your email and phone number. That's all you got to do, Erik.
That's it.
That's all you got to
It's
do.
easy.
You're an Inner Circle member. You pull up to the pump, you type in your phone number, and you guys are saving money, okay? Make sure you sign up. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply. At participating locations, visit circlek.com for details.
I literally last week was filling up my tank, and I tried to kind of like gauge it so I didn't fill it up all the way to end up that I needed gas today. And I'm proud to say that I nailed
You
it.
need gas today.
Yeah, I nailed it.
Good for you. Ow. The ring hurt my knuckle, man.
I'm sorry, man.
That's tough. I'm on IR now. No more,
Bye.
no more shows for the rest of the week for me. That's a bummer. Sharon in the chat saying when Nick Saban says you're his favorite player, I think he's more than his highlight reel. BK.
Well, we shouldn't talk to BK. He should be gone right now.
he should be busy.
He needs to be grinding.
He should
film.
be busy grinding film.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Learn ball, pal.
Guys, hit that like button, hit the subscribe
Lots
button.
of likes today. I
Lots
like
of
it.
likes. I love it. I love it. Appreciate you guys stopping by on a Thursday. Still plenty to discuss on the PHNX Sun Devil Show. Getting into our final player that we are going to be discussing in terms of NFL comps, and that is your Arizona State center from the last couple of seasons, Leif Fautanu, who was an all-conference center. However, he was disrespected alongside Shamari Simmons, not getting an invite to the NFL Combine.
Leaf doesn't even have an NFL draft prospect page.
It's really pathetic.
Shamari does.
It's
Leaf
pathetic.
doesn't, which is like that was shocking to me.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
Leif
What
was
are
an
we doing?
all-conference center in a Power 4 conference, and he is a prototypical size of an NFL center.
Yeah.
And I read some of the stuff the other day, right? That Leif is like, in terms of this center class, he certainly has the potential to get drafted. It's a center class that isn't loaded with guys. Leif has some of the most experience. He's got one of the lowest pressure rates of active centers from last year. So for him to, like you said, not be invited to the NFL Combine, not have a draft
Not
profile,
have a draft prospect profile.
like
thing
it's
is
just
nuts.
disrespectful. Like I don't know why the disrespect continues to come for some of these Arizona State guys. But I think whoever gets Leif is going to be really, really happy with the type of player that they get. One of the best personalities of any Sun Devil that I have ever had the pleasure of interacting with.
Leaf will be on an NFL roster this year, like not practice squad, like an NFL roster. Yeah, I think so, because not just the size, the physicality and everything, but I think it's the brain.
Yeah.
The brain over everything else. There is no Cam Skattebo season without Leif Fautanu.
Facts.
There is
Keep
no
going.
There's no Sam Levitt season without Leif Fautanu. There's no Peach Bowl
Without Leif.
without Leif.
Yeah.
There's no way around that. And I do think that's why when you look at this year's ASU team, a lot is on Ben Coleman to pick up the slack at center, because Leif is going to leave quite a hole to fill. Williams says Leif to Seattle at 223 in the 7th round. I could see that. I would hate
Shane
it.
would be a happy boy.
I would hate it if he went to anybody in the NFC West. I could see there was another crazy comp. I think it was Bees on one of our earlier shows, either this week or last week,
About Leif?
about Leif. And the comp that they gave, and maybe it wasn't Bees, but I'm just associating it with Bees. Was you ready for this?
Yeah.
Jason Kelsey.
First ballot Hall of Famer, Super Bowl.
But they looked
Or did
at,
he win a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, he won a Super Bowl.
I don't know if he did. I think he lost a Super Bowl. Oh, no. Was he on the team that Nick Foles?
I think he was on the team.
So maybe he did win one.
Some of similar concerns coming out of college.
Wow, you were quick on that, Leah. You guys didn't see it, but Leah had the fact check ready to go. That was quality stuff.
There you go.
Quality stuff, Leah.
Never missed a beat.
Take that, Shane.
Anyway. Continue.
6th round draft pick.
Yeah.
So, not taken super high. And some similar concerns coming out of college. I think some people have with Leif, an extremely smart player. And actually, Leif is a little bigger. I'm not taking credit for that. B says he can't take credit for that. Somebody said that. I don't know who, but somebody said that. How do you feel about that wild?
I don't hate it. I think
hope not, considering it's a really nice comp.
Jason Kelce is one of the smartest centers in the last 20 years. He obviously helped this Philadelphia Eagles team get to a Super Bowl just a few years ago before obviously they won this past one. And they, because of Jason Kelce, have been able to run one of the most unstoppable plays in the NFL. Is
Jalen Hurts screen pass?
Is Leif Fautanu capable of doing something like that? I'm not sure. Is Leif Fautanu capable of being one of the top 32 centers in the NFL? I think so.
Yeah, I think he could eventually start.
Again, I'm with you. I think it's not him and Shamari aren't guys that step in day one, probably not even years 2 and 3, stepping in as like, hey, you're a starter. I see these guys being backups who take advantage of opportunities, right? Which is something that they didn't necessarily have to do at Arizona State. They were kind of thrust into opportunities. But for Leif, a guy who's played so much football, I can see him going to a place that has a starting center, or maybe even somebody taking a flyer on him, right? Maybe somebody had drafted a center 3-4 years ago and they're getting ready to compete for a starting spot. And somebody says, hey, we're going to bring in Leif Fautanu as an undrafted free agent or a 7th round guy, and we're going to have him compete with you for that starting center spot. And again, the expectation wouldn't be that Leif would win, but hey, because Leif has played so much football, there's a chance, right? And he's prototypical size. Like he's
prototypical size. He all of like the stats too, which is like hard for offensive line, as well. But like 89.3 pass blocking grade is the best grade for any FBS center and 7th among all players. Period. He has just 4 pressures credited against him for this past season, tied for the 16th fewest among FBS players and 9th fewest among centers, with a minimum of 250 pass block snaps. 1.2 pressures allowed percentage is 9th among FBS centers. Started all 12 games for ASU, playing all but 1 snap of the season where his helmet came off.
Yeah, he was a dog. He was an absolute dog. Will saying if Leaf's IQ is close to Kelsey's, he's going to be really good.
Formally rebuild this team, says Broncos fan here. Who was Skattebo compared to? Peyton Hillis.
No, he was not compared to Peyton Hillis.
No.
There were a number of comps that were thrown out. Josh Jacobs, a better Taysom Hill, and a guy in Cam Skattebo that has, again, we've made this very clear, has the attributes of players like a Saquon, like an LT, being able to throw, catch, run, kind of your do-it-all guys. Again, we're not saying that he's going to be Saquon or LaDainian Tomlinson. We understand what that sounds like. But in terms of a skill set that he has, he reminds us a lot of like a Josh Jacobs.
I think formally he just responded nah to me saying Peyton
Hillis.
The
Peyton Hillis.
It's just a joke.
It's a lazy take.
It's just a joke.
Formally. It's really a lazy take.
Yeah, I'm 1,000% joking. He's more.
Are you saying? I want to know. I want to know.
He's saying. Okay, just joking.
Yeah. No Peyton.
No, he's definitely more of like a Christian McCaffrey, Mike Allstott hybrid.
Just combined 2 white running backs, man.
It's such a fun bit.
It's so lazy.
It's such a fun
and people
bit.
actually do it though. That's crazy.
No, I know. I mean, that is. I'm saying it completely ironically, but there are people with platforms who
that are like Peyton Hillis. Like, really? Why? Because he's white? Give me something else. Go watch Peyton Hillis run the football. It was very different than the way Cam Skattebo does it. Peyton Hillis couldn't catch the ball, couldn't throw the ball. Don't really know if he could punt.
I think the Broncos would be lucky to have Cam. I think that would be a great partner for Bo Nix.
As a Chargers supporter, I don't want to see him anywhere in this division.
Can you imagine? I think Kenny would maybe be the happiest guy on earth. if Bo Nix and Cam Skattebo were on the same team together.
And I think Marcus Arroyo would be elated if Justin Herbert and Cam Skattebo.
Can't they both have him? Formerly also asked, does he have a lot of mileage? Yes.
Left, or has he?
He has been put through a lot, yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at, we can very quickly just take a look at.
Well, even beyond the numbers, he was one of ASU's only means of offense 2 seasons ago. He was an absolute workhorse this year. He, by the way, Bees adds Frank Gore and David Montgomery formerly to the Skatt comps that we went through earlier. He's gone through a lot. He really has, but he's only gotten stronger as it's gone on, which is the crazy part.
Yeah, in 2024, this past season, he had over 300 total touches running the ball, throwing the ball, catching the ball. In 2023, that down 3-9 season for Arizona State, Skatt had, 188 total touches, at least receiving and rushing, doesn't include throwing the football or punting. In 2022, he had over 200 total touches, also had 1,300 yards on the ground that year. Then in 2021 at Sac State, he had, from what I can see, less than 100 total touches. So still got, I think, a fair amount of mileage.
I'm not worried about... So the thing formerly that you need to know about Cam Skattebo and with the mileage and stuff is that he is obsessed with taking care of his body.
He is.
And he's actually semi-transformed his body over the years. And also ASU in practice has been very light with what they're doing, being aware of the fact that he has been carrying a large load for this team. And so during practices, he would basically be doing not nothing, but he would not be going through the nitty gritty, grind it out type stuff because they knew they needed him in game. I will say at the end of 2 seasons ago, he slowed down a little bit because of just how much was put on him, but he was punting, throwing, catching, running, all of the above. And so I would not be worried about him at all.
No, absolutely not. Formerly also saying you guys are awesome. Thanks. Here visiting from DNVR Pod. Appreciate it.
If he's saying we're awesome, he's definitely not a DNVR Buffs fan.
Yeah, maybe he's a Colorado State guy.
Yeah. Also adds he'd be great for goal line third downs. Not concerned about mileage since Peyton likes to run a committee. I think Denver's a great spot for him. I do. I really do, especially because it's out of the NFC West. I would much rather you bear that pain than me. Much rather.
I can't do it. I texted him the other day and I was like, yo, I really hope Jim Harbaugh picks up the phone and calls you in rounds 2 or 3. I need that to happen with every ounce of my being.
Would you rather, do you guys have a first round pick this year?
Yeah.
Would you rather you use your first round pick on Skatt or he goes to the Broncos?
I'd rather him go to the Broncos.
Fake.
I can't.
Fake.
You can't.
Fake.
First round grade's tough.
Fake.
First round grade is tough.
Fake.
Can I say, can we trade out? Can we trade back? No. Dude, you're so mean. Okay, fine. You. 16 overall. We taking Skatt or he goes to an NFC West team? Don't lie through your teeth either.
Yeah, we're not taking Skatt.
Yeah. It's not so fun being in that situation, is it? Huh? Oh my goodness.
I love Skatt. I would love him on the... Listen, if the Cardinals needed a running back, I'd be like, huh? But no.
Yeah. And I think, again, there are a lot of people that want Cam. Like, fan bases want Cam Skattebo.
Yes, as they should. Front offices want Cam Skattebo. I'll read this quote from a anonymous AFC executive. You hear guys say, quote, I'm built different, but it's usually all talk. This guy is really built differently. He sees and plays the game like a linebacker.
Yeah, he does. I mean, we had him in the chat when we were in his brother was on there too. Leah. And they were just going back about how he used to, as a kid, his brother would lock him in the closet and he would just run at the closet door, right? Because
he also told us he plays basketball like Steph Curry.
Yeah. I mean, he's a do-it-all guy.
Yeah.
He's a do-it-all guy. And I want my running back to be like that. I want my running back. Every team wants a running back, especially in this day and age of offense. Give me a guy like a Cam Skattebo that's just going to run through a mofo's face, to quote Marshawn Lynch, right? Again and 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 again. That's what Cam Skattebo does. He wears on you. Yeah. Right. So for teams that do have the whole running back by committee situation, I know we got a Broncos fan in the chat, but to your point about a Chiefs situation, or I know Shane has talked about the Chiefs as well, like having to not only deal with a quarterback in Mahomes and Kelsey, but also trying to stop a backfield of an Isaiah Pacheco and a Cam Skattebo, that just screams in pain, dude. Like, there's realistically not a good way that you can defend those two. So we'll see. Again, we're 3 hours realistically away from round 1 starting. We don't expect to hear Skatt's name today. We do expect to hear Skatt's name tomorrow during the Arizona State spring game, which will hopefully be a lot of fun. Maybe they'll put him on the big screen and all that type of stuff. We'll be out there. So really, really looking forward to all that stuff. Formally saying running backs are relevant again.
It's nice, isn't it? Shout out to Saquon, huh?
It's nice. All you have to do is jump over someone backwards in an NFL game for people to care about the position again.
Yeah.
It's really unfortunate, but here we are. Here we are, guys. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Okay, do you want to get into one of the greatest Arizona State Sun Devils of all time, not named Cam Skattebo?
I thought we were already doing that. Yeah, let's do it.
So Jake Plummer, we all know, again, NFL legend, Arizona State legend. He took to Twitter this morning. Obviously, the first night of the NFL draft. A lot of guys going to have their lifelong dreams recognized, hearing their name called. And he tweeted out a video of his personal experience and how he remembers draft day. So take a look at what Jake the Snake had to say about his draft experience.
I'm sitting on the eve of the 2025 NFL draft, and I always recollect and reminisce and think back to when I was coming out of Arizona State and just had balled out, played in the Rose Bowl. I wasn't like sure about anything back. If it was today, I probably would have been a first rounder, top 15 pick, because they just clamor over any quarterback that can do it somewhat. You don't want to miss out. So yeah, I was playing in the Shrine in the Senior Bowl and getting after it just because I thought I better do all this. And sure enough, the time came. I had my family and friends around. We've been partying, having a good time. And the morning of the draft, I went and played golf. I knew I wasn't going to be a first rounder, so I went and played some golf. But gearing up to that, I was realizing that my dream was about to come true. And what a time it is for these young men right now. Even though the environment has changed and there's some millionaires coming out of college going into the pros, it's still, they're right there on the doorstep. Their dream is about to come true. And I applaud all of them and hope they all are taking care of business and having their friends and family near right now. It's a precious time because life's going to change forever. So 28 years ago, I was still an amateur athlete, fresh off of an amazing season as a Sun Devil and getting ready to get drafted in the NFL. So that's my story, and I got more coming. Peace, love, and mushrooms.
Nobody else is like Jake Plummer,
Jake
man.
the Snake, man.
It's been fun being able to talk to him. I got a mushroom bar from him. They're not the trippy mushrooms, but cool experience, man. And I thought it was funny how he was like, "Yeah, if I came out today, I'd be one of the top."
He's not
picks.
wrong.
No, he's not right.
wrong.
The draft is completely different.
It is
nowadays.
In this year in quarterbacks,
Cam Skattebo, if he came out during his time, probably would have been in the first round.
Yeah, literally. Like, it is crazy to see how the whole thing has changed. And again, best of luck to all the Sun Devils that are, hopefully going to hear their names called. I hope there's more than one. I hope there's more than three. But we'll see. You never know. The draft is really something that's tough to predict, even though everybody and their mother tries to.
Yeah.
Very few are actually right outside of
Think
the
about
first
how many
three
dumb
picks.
franchises are drafting. It's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them. And I saw something actually come out over social media the other day that NFL GMs and draft boards, they normally have categories of like, you've got like the talent, the interviews, that type of stuff. And something that's now on their boards, or at least in their evaluation processes, do they love football? Do you love football?
Right.
I
think Cam Skattebo's at the top of that list.
Think about all the Arizona State guys we've talked about.
Yeah, it's true.
Cam Skattebo, Shamari, Leif. They all very clearly love football. You sit down, you talk to them, you can tell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, these guys wouldn't be doing what they do. They wouldn't have had the Arizona State season that they did last year if they didn't.
What prospect in this draft do you think doesn't love football?
I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
I knew.
I'm going to keep my mouth shut. If you've been on this show before, then you probably know what my answer would be.
I saw just a crazy draft take to round things up before we talk a little BJ Freeman for like 3 minutes. I heard somebody say with their chest that they think Jalen Milroe is going to go number 2.
Overall? Or he's
Yes,
going to be
overall.
like the second
No,
quarterback?
like overall.
Yeah, it's not happening. It's not happening.
24-hour stream?
No, I'm not doing that. I'll take it. Cam Skattebo MVP.
Leave it in his rookie year.
I did see that the odds have changed though for Jackson Dart
Cam
to be
Skattebo MVP.
There you go. Jackson Dart to be the second
quarterback
taken.
Yeah, who would you take second behind Cam?
I
Moore?
wouldn't take a quarterback in this draft.
No, not like second overall, but like who would be your second quarterback?
I wouldn't take a quarterback in this draft.
Wow,
it's a bad draft for
wow.
quarterbacks. Yeah,
Wow.
Next year is going to be a great year.
The Levitt year.
In all honesty, Jackson Dart would be my second quarterback
Really?
on this list. Yeah. I think the upside of a guy like Jalen Milroe is definitely interesting.
I thought it was so funny. Somebody was like, Jalen Milroe is like if Lamar was faster and had a good arm. I'm like, what? I was like, what?
You mean the guy that's won the MVP?
I was like, what are you smoking? Like,
crazy.
what is going on?
That is absolutely wild. Yeah, formerly saying Milroe is a good dart throw just on athleticism alone. 100%. Not a first round, though. I mean, if somebody
Second
wants to
overall
throw that
pick.
dart in the first round, that's totally fine. But if I'm running that organization, that's not what I'm doing. I'll take that in the second, third. You can't waste a first round pick on a guy that you don't know is he didn't even reach his potential in college. What makes you think he's going to reach his potential in the NFL? You know, so that is what it is. I think it's time we wrap things up with.
He's got a big neck. I'm serious.
Just gonna let that one soak for a second. Shout out BYU.
99 athleticism score.
Yeah, I mean he's an athlete. He's crazy fast. He
Yeah,
can
okay,
throw the
sorry.
ball.
No more Jalen Milroe talk.
No more Jalen Milroe talk. How about-
NFL comparison: Cordell Stewart.
So BJ Freeman,
Also NFL comparison: Cordell Stewart.
former Arizona State guard who was, I guess, not dismissed, but quote parted ways with Arizona State about midway through the season. He has landed on a roster in the Big 12. BJ Freeman, you are a UCF Knight.
It makes so much sense.
Does it?
Mikey
After watching
Mikey
Kashawn Hall last
Williams-
year?
Mikey Williams plays for UCF. You know what, man? Whatever.
Whatever.
Whatever, dude.
What are the odds?
BJ Freeman revenge game is gonna sting a little
gonna
bit.
go crazy.
It's gonna sting.
It's gonna go crazy.
He's gonna take. I don't know if he's gonna hit any, but he's gonna take so many shots against us next year.
All of them. He's gonna take all of the shots.
Mikey Williams is gonna. No, I was gonna. Never mind.
Come on, man.
Never mind.
Come on, man.
Mikey Williams is going to respectfully ask for the ball
There
to be
you go.
passed to him.
There you go. That's
Just
the way
like
you
John
needed
Morant.
to say.
I am on one.
You
today.
are. You
I don't
absolutely
know
are.
what's going on.
Look, I think BJ Freeman on UCF, I agree with you. Kind of does make a little sense. You watched Kashawn Hall last year, and he just shot the ball a million times for that program. When it went in, they won. When it didn't, they lost. And they lost a lot of basketball games.
Mm-hmm.
BJ Freeman is a guy that does need his fair share of shots if he's going to get in a rhythm. And I think UCF is getting a talented player if they can make that situation work. We know there was some issues with coaches, with maybe some temperament stuff within the program with BJ. So we'll see if he can kind of rein that in for his final year of college basketball. If he can, then I think UCF can, they got a good addition.
I think BJ Freeman belongs on this level to play. Like, I think he belongs on a Big 12 level to play basketball.
100%.
So I'd say good for him, but whatever.
That's it.
Whatever.
He doesn't
Whatever.
care. Yeah. I guess that's fair. Whatever.
Listen, man, you can't make me feel things in Big 12 basketball right now.
No, not even a little bit.
No, not at all.
Real quick before we get out of here, name 10 things that you love that are obscure that you'd rather talk about than Big 12 basketball.
Cheese.
Okay. Valid. And I'm lactose intolerant.
Yeah. Hats.
Okay.
Driving.
You just rather talk about driving.
Colors.
Great.
White running backs.
Yeah.
Peyton Hillis is a completely separate topic.
Separate topic.
Completely separate
Okay,
topic.
we're at 6.
Music.
I need obscure things for the last
obscure
couple.
things. Lizards.
Okay. Shout out Clayton Smith. He owns lizards. I'm just throwing that out.
You know, like that map that you saw as like a kid that was like, it had like a mesa and a canyon and a gulf and an archipelago. You know what I'm talking about? Where they had all the
And a
different
what?
like land structures.
An arch of what?
I forgot sometimes that you didn't go to public school.
An arch of what?
Yeah, that's it. That's all you get.
I don't get one more? Leah, bring us home. Give me one obscure thing.
Printing bingo cards.
There you
Printing
go.
bingo cards. Leah has been
If you know, you know.
struggling today to use the printer. Guys, that is going to do it for today's episode
What
of
a
the
show.
PHNX Sun Devils
What a
show.
show.
I mean, take tip of the cap there to you. Why don't you, huh? Hit the like button.
Peyton Hillis.
Hit the subscribe button. Drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. If you enjoyed the content, if you hated it, if you're BK, maybe give us a follow at PHNX _
BK never
Sun
came back,
Devils.
by the way.
You can follow me.
Probably ran back the highlight video.
Yeah, there you go. At Anthony _ Totri. You can follow this guy right here using Peyton Hillis as a comp for Cam Skattebo.
Also, I got the sun. I got the sun.
At Erik
yesterday.
Ruby. It's Erik with a K. And you can follow the one, the only Leah Merrall on social, just at Leah Merrall, right? And we will see you guys on Friday ahead of the Arizona State spring game. And we'll be talking some NFL draft as well. But in the meantime, go Devils. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.